الجرم الذي ارتكبه الإنسان.
In other situations, ta'ziyah is applied, which can include lashes, imprisonment, a fine, or simply a warning.
The word had, the translation of that in English would be capital punishment, right? Or corporal punishment. Now, what's interesting, we understand in the Bible, because we refer everything back to the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments is the foundation of the monotheistic faith of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, the final chapter, right? And we refer back to the Ten Commandments, where it says, "Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not harbor thy neighbor's wife, thou shalt not commit adultery." These are all laws that are set down by God on us, right? And if people break these laws, then there's a punishment for it.
It is believed that if you are punished for a crime in this life, you will be absolved in the afterlife. According to Quranic guidance, drinking liquor does more harm than benefit to an individual and society as a whole. Many cases of horrible crimes, accidents, and domestic violence occur under the influence of alcohol and other intoxicating substances. Human life is sacred in Islam. In the case of intentional murder, the accused is executed. If, however, the murder was accidental, diya or blood money is paid to the family of the deceased. As Islam focuses on the well-being of the family and extended family, inheritance laws are based upon the premise that men are the main providers for a family and would therefore receive the greater part of the inheritance. The right to own property was given to both men and women 1400 years ago. At the same time, women gained the right to vote and participate in political life.
Women have been able to vote on everything for 1400 years, and only just in the beginning of the 20th century did women be able to vote in Western countries. Women had the right to run businesses and own property and inherit, whereas women did not until the 20th century.
In Switzerland, it was just not too long ago, I'm talking about within about 50 years ago, that women were just allowed to vote. Well, over 1400 years ago, women were allowed to vote in Islam, right? Women were allowed to hold positions of authority, right? They were allowed to study. They were allowed to work. And you heard that saying, what's mine is yours and what's yours is mine? Islamically, that's correct for the Muslim woman, because what she earns is hers.
This is the one that I like the best, is women back then as well as today, whatever monies they keep, or whatever the monies that they make, they get to keep. They don't have to pool their income resources with the household.
The Islamic economic system is different from conventional commercial transactions. Today there are many investment opportunities in compliance with Islamic Sharia, introducing the investor to socially responsible funds listed on the Dow Jones Islamic Market Index, among other indices. Some restrictions include companies producing, distributing or selling alcohol, pork or pornography, operators of gambling casinos and producers of gambling equipment, as well as financial investment institutions that invest in restricted companies. The principles of Islamic banking are grounded in Sharia law, whereby banks enter into a partnership arrangement with the investor, sharing both profits and losses. Muslims are discouraged from living on credit. Sharia encourages cash transactions in order to limit debt and allow us to live free from financial worry and anxiety. If crimes are allowed to go unchecked, it will most certainly disrupt the social fabric of the whole ummah or state. Sharia law merely provides the guidelines to protect Islamic societies. The family in Islam. The family is at the core of Islam, and religious laws are aimed at maintaining and strengthening family relations. Founded more than 1400 years ago, Islam brought a message of peace and goodwill to all mankind, based upon human rights and civil liberties, as it is understood across all religions today. The Quran is Islam's equivalent of the Bible or Torah. The Quran, as well as the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, calls for mutual respect and love between parents and their children. Muslim parents are held accountable before Allah or God for the way they raise their children. In return, Muslim children are expected to respect their parents, listen to their opinions, never raise their voices in front of them, and take great care of them as they grow older. Homes for the elderly are very rare in Muslim societies. The responsibility of aging parents and grandparents is shared by the children. Rana Atani is the oldest of 4 and lives at home with her parents. She is not restricted to the house and has many friends she socializes with.
Well, the only time that I may think of leaving the house is when I get married. So I just move to my husband's home. Islam stresses the strong relation between the family, between the parents and the children. Moreover, it obliges us to treat our parents in a very nice way, in a very respectful way. We should respect them all over the road. We should be able to give them whatever they want, and as in return, they should also treat us in a very good way and give us all what we need. So Islam puts the rules on how we should treat our parents and how they should treat us.
The Atanis are a typical Muslim family, living as much as possible in accordance with the teachings of Islam. Their lifestyle as a family is focused on helping one another and accordingly pleasing Allah. Mona is the mother, and besides her tasks at home, she works at the university. Islam does not oblige her to contribute any of her earnings to the household. That is her choice.
Concerning women, Islam does not forbid women from working.
I think a Muslim woman should have many characteristics that reflect the principles of Islam. A Muslim woman should be veiled in the first place. She should be educated, she should be active, having from the inside that she wants to help the society, she wants to help anyone, no harm, no insult, nothing bad should be done for others. She should also be pious, modest, caring, loving for her children, loving for her family, energetic. She can be educated, of course, as I said before, because this reflects her education, and her personality is reflected to her children, which are the future generation. So Islam doesn't prevent me or any Muslim woman from doing anything she wants, but of course within ethical boundaries and within the principles that Islam wants. For example, I was educated in an American university and I've got an engineering degree. I also work in an engineering company.
Despite her full schedule, Rana also finds time for her friends and religious commitments. Every Wednesday evening, Rana, her sisters and their friends meet for a halakah at a private center in Beirut. A halakah is a religious gathering. The sheikh leading the gathering this evening is a graduate in religious studies from the famous Azhar University in Cairo. Marwan, the father, is responsible for supporting the family financially. He owns a small textile shop downtown, which he says serves the needs of his family. Every Friday, he attends prayers at his local mosque. Both Mona and Marwan have taught their children the ways and teachings of the Quran and the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The family prays together as often as they can. Education is compulsory for both men and women, in religious as well as scientific and social studies, not only to advance a personal professional career, but also to know and understand one's religious rights and duties, which helps in making everyday decisions.
Of course, if we go to the literature of the Prophet, peace be upon him, we could find it in one phrase that says, knowledge is a duty upon every Muslim. Of course, when we say every Muslim, mean male and female. And that's amazing in that time, at the very beginning of the 7th century. That was something amazing. It was like a revolution to ask people to seek knowledge wherever they are.
As stated in the Holy Quran,
O mankind, we have created